Hey, Miss Parker. Sorry, people text. Hey. Hey, Sade. Welcome to Saturday Scopes, ladies. Hey. HJM Becker, thanks for joining. So this is Saturday Scopes. Me, myself, and I. With the I portion of the series. So today I want to talk to you about I am. Positive affirmations, declarations, I am statements, and personal declarations, all those good things, and really declaring who you are. One thing that most people don't do is declare out loud and speak who they are, what they'll have, achieve, be, all of those things. I know there's a lot of books and whatever about The Secret, and I can't worry about all that. The Bible says that the power of death and life is in the tongue. So we know that what we declare, what comes out of our mouths, has power. So if nobody else does it, we have the and the ability to speak life over ourselves, to speak blessings over ourselves, and even over the lives and into the lives of others. So this week, I want to talk about doing those positive affirmations, especially in areas where you struggle, in areas where you may not be as confident or as strong as you would like to be. Speak it into existence. Declare it to be so, you know. And we did a take-home gift. That's a positive affirmation ring. I'll show you mine. It's falling apart. It's a little raggedy, but I keep it in my purse. It's on a ring, and it has pages in it, and all of my little pages have positive affirmations written on them, and you can write whatever you want on it. It's a good reminder, a good way for you to go back and reflect, to remind yourself of things that you've declared for yourself, promises that God has made you. You can put scriptures in there, whatever, but do it. Make positive affirmations, make declarations, I am statements every day. Wake up, tell yourself, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the hands and feet of God in the earth. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. And when you constantly are rehearsing these things, you encourage yourself, you build your self-esteem up, and it really helps you remember who you are and whose you are. When you have a good sense of these I am statements. Not only that, once you start hearing it over and over, and especially if you're writing it, if you're seeing it, you're hearing it, and saying it, it's going to stick. Anytime you're learning something, the more ways you put it into your system, the more it sticks. The easier it is for you to, hey, Minister Wallace, the easier it is for you to retain that. So if you're constantly declaring positive things over your life, if you're constantly speaking encouragement to yourself and even declaring positive things for others, it has immense power to change not just your life and your outcome, but for somebody else. You know, if you have a family member that's not where they need to be in God, not where they need to be in life, start declaring things over their life. Start declaring that they're healed, that they're saved, that they're redeemed, that they're flowing in purpose, all of those things. And the more and more you speak it and declare it, it's going to be so. The Bible tells us that we have the power to declare a thing and it'll come to pass. So we have to begin to open up our mouth and declare these things to be so and not be afraid. A lot of times we spend time praying for things that we don't even have to pray for because we've been given the power and authority to declare and decree. So we spend time asking, but we don't have to ask. It's already ours. We just have to speak it. Okay, so make sure that we're taking time to do those things. Write it down, declare it. I have goals and things that I want to accomplish for the kingdom, in ministry, in business. Some of them are in my little ring, and even on days when I don't feel it, I speak it anyway. Because if you don't believe it, who else is going to? If you don't declare it over yourself, who else is going to? I remember when I went to design school, I was working a full-time job at a law firm, and one of the gentlemen that worked in my department, he was like, "Oh, you're going to school for fashion? Well, you're never going to get a job doing that, and you're wasting your time, and blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, you have the right to your opinion, and you can say whatever you want to and believe what you want to." I said, "But this is my life. This is my choice, and whatever I choose to do with that degree and those skills is for me to decide. If I believe I can do it, I can do it." No, I didn't trip him, but I did tell him about himself. And that's another thing. When you don't have to receive negative reports, you don't have to receive negativity at all. And I don't have a problem looking somebody dead in the face and telling them I don't receive that. Not at all. I choose to receive the report of the Lord. I don't agree with that. And if it comes down to it, you will get rebuked real quick, fast, and in a hurry. The devil is a liar. I will not allow other people to speak their doubt and negativity on me, and you shouldn't either. I know we all have friends, family members, associates. Somewhere in the bunch, there's one that's negative, that believes the worst of everything, that speaks the worst of everything. And if you constantly let that be spoken over you, that becomes a part of what you live under. I'm not going to do it. I refuse. I'll tell somebody real quick, nope, not today, not today. You can speak curses over yourself. You can speak negativity over yourself all day long if you want to, but you won't include me. So it's time to stand up and be bold in our declarations and not receiving negativity and doubt and sabotaging words from others. You have control over what you live under, and what you speak is what you live under. If you constantly speak the promises of God, provision, all of the things that God said was ours, if you're constantly speaking those things and putting positivity into the atmosphere, that's what you live under. But if you're constantly saying, "Oh, I'm sick, I'm broke, oh, I don't feel good, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that," and blah, blah, you're not going to have it. You're going to stay sick, you're going to stay broke, you're going to stay single, you're going to stay trapped. Whatever it is that you're speaking, that's what you're going to stay. My mama will tell you real quick, and people who know me, even when I didn't have money, I never said I'm broke. I would say it's not in my budget right now. At the moment, I don't have that. Come on. Say it, Pastor Wallace. It's so much stuff that we haven't tapped into because we haven't spoken it. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to get everything that God has for me. I'm speaking it. I'm trying to be like the master with the talents that reap where he didn't sow. Not because I'm greedy, but because I have friends and family who have spoken things for me, because they believe in what's in me and on me like I do for them. I speak blessings over my friends, over my family. Honey, We all need to come up together. If we constantly speaking blessings over one another and declaring positivity and the promises of God and increase and success for one another, how can God do anything but respond in a positive way and keep his promises? Come on. Mine, yours. I want everybody to get theirs. I'm trying to go back and snatch stuff from generations that got left when people left up out of here and didn't claim it and didn't speak it. What's generationally mine that wasn't claimed by my ancestors? It's still available. It's mine. And the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. If you catch the thief with it in his hand, he got to restore double. And I want all of my stuff double. Come on. That's right. If it's in the line, it can be mine. And something so powerful. I remember one time I was in a prayer line and I was talking to the pastor. As a matter of fact, the pastor was praying for me about a specific gift. And he said, it's yours. He said, it's been in your family for generations, but nobody has stepped up to claim it. The next time you're in prayer and you have that unction of the Holy Ghost, tell God yes. Tell him you want it. You ain't got to tell me twice. Not at all. I'm claiming everything. And that's right. Take it back. Take it back. If it's anywhere, even if it ain't, you can ask for it. If you desire a gift to use for the kingdom, to use for the right purposes, you can ask for it. Because there's some specific things that I asked God for. And he has granted those things because my intent and my motive and my desire to use it for the kingdom and to bless other people was right. I didn't ask out of selfish reasons and to show off and to flaunt and to be flesh on parade. I asked because I saw a need in the kingdom and nobody else was stepping up to fulfill that need. So I surely did. He said, come boldly to the throne of grace. I don't have no problem. If you know me, you know I speak my mind. You know, I have no problem being bold, being outspoken for the kingdom or otherwise. Amen. Amen. But we have to. It's people out here that are dependent on us, that are dependent on our gifts, dependent on us to be obedient and to take those leaps of faith when God gives crazy instructions. Honey, I tell you what, when I was getting ready to buy a house. The day God told me, no, you moving to Florida. I had to call the realtor back the next day and was like, well, ma'am, I'm not going to need that house after all. So, you know, I ain't have a job, still don't have a job, but I'm still declaring and decreeing that God is supplying all of my needs according to his riches in glory. If I don't have a job, he's going to send the increase. He's going to send provision. I haven't gone without anything yet. I'm not lacking anything yet. You can see I ain't missing no meals. Amen. But, you know, just what we declare. I could be here and be sad and depressed and, oh, woe is me. I don't have any friends. I'm away from my family. I don't know anybody, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not. I'm here on assignment. I know God has something here for me to do. I know that in his time, my ministry is going to flourish here, that I'm going to flow in purpose here, and that I'm going to make a great impact, not just on this city, but this entire region. And I believe and I'm declaring that God is going to open up doors and opportunities for me to travel. So this just may be home where I get to camp out and live by the beach. I don't know. Whatever he wants to do, I'm fine with it. Hey, when I told him yes, send me wherever you want to. I'll go. And I keep my word. When I told God, send me, I will go. Honey, I'll pack up and go. Yes, he did. Come on. Come on. He moved them right out. Told them, go from all your kin folks. Sometimes you got to get away from the kin folks. Not because they don't have your best interest at heart, but sometimes you feel obligated to the kin folks, to the family, to tradition, to your role in the family, which hinders you from doing what God has called you to do. If Abraham had never left his family, he never would have been in the position that he was in to be blessed, to be made a great nation. He had to leave. Sometimes you have to. And I'm fine with that. Come on. But if you've never done it, make a personal declaration, especially if you're struggling with self-esteem, with figuring out what your gifts are, what your calling is. Start making some, come on, shake the dust off. Start making some declarations and putting into the atmosphere who and what you desire to be for the kingdom, who and what you desire to be in purpose. And as you pray, God will lead you and direct those declarations. If you've never done it before, if you don't know anything about it, I'll tell you a good book to grab is Commanding Your Morning by Cindy Trim. She got some prayers in there, some declarations that'll get you started, that'll help you figure out how to put yours together. She got stuff in there for everything, and really explains the concept of commanding your morning. And it's not a morning as in time. She's talking about beginnings, commanding your beginnings, morning as in the beginning of something, start of something. So if this is your first time declaring things and starting to speak things into existence, I suggest you grab that book. And I think, if I remember correctly, she's got some free resources on her website. You can check out the prayers and stuff on YouTube. Just Google them or search for it. But there is definitely a blessing in declaring and commanding your mornings. I know my peoples will agree with me in the comments, because I know y'all command some things and declare and decree. So sometimes, you have to go to war. I got a phone call, or actually a text message, about one of my really good friends being sick, and sick to the point where it could have possibly been his deathbed. And that thing shook me. And it took me a minute to gather myself. And I was almost in tears, but I was like, no, devil, you ain't getting none of my tears over this, because he finna live. And I had to shake myself and go to war. And as I was praying, I spent a big chunk of time in that prayer declaring things over his life, declaring that he's healed, that he's whole, that he's going to walk in the purpose and the destiny that God has for him. And as I began to declare those things, I felt my help and I felt power. Come on, live and not die. I felt my help come, and then I got mad at the devil, and it was on then. So, when you pray for your friends, when you pray for your family and yourself, remember to declare things, decree things. The important thing to remember about decreeing and declaring is this. In biblical times, when the king made a decree, it was irrevocable unless he made another decree. And even then, he couldn't decree that the former one was void. He had to decree something that negated the action of the first one. So if the king decreed, for example, when the king decreed that all of the Jews were to be killed, he couldn't come back and say, no, I take it back. He had to make another decree that said they had the right to defend themselves with arms. So when you declare and decree things, that thing is irrevocable. So speak, open up your mouth and speak. When you declare that you healed, can't nobody take that back. You got to believe it when you declare it, but declare it and believe it. Stand on that word. I'm declaring that I'm going to be a millionaire. Not just because I want money and want to shop and ball out, but because I got some things I need to accomplish in the kingdom, and it takes money to do it. If I need to pick up and go to Australia and preach, come on, I'm going. And I'm going to have multiple streams of income. Come on. Not just because I love money, and it's not about that. You know, I could really care less about having money, but I know the things that God has called me to do for the kingdom and in my life. I know the call that's on me for my family to create generational wealth. And when you know those things, it governs how you act. It governs the decisions that you make. It governs your yeses and nos. It governs the people that you surround yourself with and what comes out of your mouth. Just like I said earlier, when I didn't have money, I never said I was broke. I never said I was poor. I don't have it right now. It's not in my budget right now. Come on. Right now, I'm telling you that there is power in what you release out of your mouth. There is power in what you say, and there is an equal blessing in knowing when to be quiet and when not to speak. Because sometimes being quiet is the best thing you can do. And knowing, studying to be quiet, not just being quiet for the sake of being quiet, but truly knowing when is the best time to be quiet. The biggest lesson you can learn is, one, your comment and your opinion is not always required or requested. Sometimes you gotta learn how to be quiet unless somebody asks you for it. Sometimes, even if you know something, even if it's what you're gonna say is right, even if it's important, make sure that you're saying it in the right time, the right place, and the right season. Because sometimes you can have all the revelation of a situation, you can know all the details, the intimate, but what you speak changes the outcome of that thing. So if you were quiet when you were supposed to be, come on. If you were quiet when you were supposed to be, that person that's going through or that's in the test or trial can walk it out and get what they need from God. Even if you saw down the line what was coming or whatever, God might have told you, be quiet, shut your mouth, don't say nothing. And then you turn around and speak, and that person have to go through the test all over again because what you said changed their outcome. Sometimes it's best to be quiet. Learn how to glue them lips together. And I know it's hard, especially for people who are outspoken. Me, let me raise my hand, me. But I know how and when to be quiet. And in being quiet, you can observe. You can observe so much. And God will show you so many things when you are quiet. In certain situations, God will cause you to be quiet. Even when you want to speak and you got to bite that tongue and be quiet. He's telling you, shut up and listen. Shut up and watch. You know, the old folks say he gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you're supposed to listen more than you talk. And a lot of times we don't do that. We get in trouble and we miss God because we're too busy talking when we should be being quiet. So in those quiet times, that's when God downloads things to you. That's when God gives you instruction. That's when he confirms things that you've been praying about, that you've been seeking him for. If you spend all of your time talking, you will never hear his voice because you're too busy hearing your own and everybody else's. But I'm telling you, just when we learn how to, I'm not even going to say tame, because taming it is a hard thing. But when we learn the true power that lies within our mouth and what we can create and do, we're made in our Father's image. We're made to be like our daddy, so we can do what he did. Go through Genesis, and God said, and God said, and God said. Every time he said, something was created. We have that same power, that same ability. When we open our mouths to speak, we can create. Either we Either we're putting something out there and speaking life to it, or we're killing it. We're killing it. And I'm going to say this, and you can get mad if you want to, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil. Ladies, especially in relationships, in marriages, dealing with men, boyfriends, learn how to be quiet and learn how to speak life to your man. Whether it's your son, your husband, your brother, uncle, cousin, daddy, whoever. These men are dying, are killing one another, are in these streets because nobody is speaking life to them. Nobody is declaring success and victory over them. Nobody is declaring that they're the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, the lender and not the borrower. Nobody is declaring that they are kings, that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. They don't hear it enough, especially our African American men. Men need to be praised and encouraged and uplifted just as much as we do, if not more, because they're constantly being beat down by society, by the media, by the workplace, just because of the color of their skin, because they're men. So many reasons. It's our job to uplift them, to speak life back into them, to remind them of who they are, and sometimes tell them because nobody else ever has. But if we keep dropping the ball on this, we're going to continue to see them in the streets killing one another, fighting one another, destroying each other and the communities. If nobody ever speaks life into them and pulls them back up out of that grave, who's going to do it? How are they going to change? Somebody told me one time that, matter of fact, it was one of my pastor friends. She was talking about women in the church who desire to be married and the lack of men in the church. And she was like, yes, I know men fish for other men. She was like, but sometimes we got to get our nets and go get the men. We desire husbands, but if nobody ever goes to get them, where are they coming from? We can't expect the men to do all the work. Salvation and discipleship is everybody's job. To offer Christ, to share the good news is everybody's job. And if I can't go to my brother in the street that's living a crazy lifestyle, that's out here running amok, and offer him Christ and tell him this is not God's best for your life, he has so much more for you, there are greater things waiting for you, I see so much in you, I speak life to you, your dreams, your hopes, your visions, whatever. Who's going to do it? Who? Men aren't doing it for each other, because a lot of times they don't even see it within themselves. It's us. It's the women who carry. They have the vision, but we carry it. And if they don't have anybody to help push them to those points, they're going to continue to suffer. They're going to continue to perish because they don't know who they are. We can't constantly beat them down and tell them, you ain't never gonna be nothing. You don't have this, you ain't that, and blah. We can't keep doing this. We killing people. That's death. We killing people with our mouths. Proverbs says a foolish woman tear her house down with her own hands. Sometimes it's your mouth, not these hands, this. You tearing stuff down and don't even realize it because you think without speaking. You say things out of anger. You say things out of hurt. But guess what? Their egos are fragile. So fragile. I know so many guys right now who have nobody, or maybe one person that encourages them. One person that tells them, hey, you can do it. Imagine what a difference it would make if they had 5 or 6 or 7, or a group of men, or just a group of people, period, regardless of sex, pushing you, encouraging you. Think about yourself. How much better and how much more motivated are you when you got somebody in your corner that's telling you, hey, you can do it. I believe in you. I'm pushing for you. I'm rooting for you. It makes a difference. I promise you it does. I promise you it does. What you speak, what you release into the atmosphere, not just for yourself, but for others, has the power to completely change the portrait of their life. Completely change. You look at a lot of celebrities and they give their life stories and their testimonies. Usually it was one person or maybe two who really picked them up and encouraged them and supported them and pushed them and told them, hey, you can do it. And it made such a difference in their life that it turned everything around. So this week, I encourage you to start making some declarations, not just for yourself, but for the lives of those around you, the people you love, for this country, this nation, for these upcoming elections, every area. Start declaring and decreeing, bombard heaven with declarations. Cancel some of these assignments that the enemy has put into place. Throw it down. Cast it down. When we constantly lift Jesus, God said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men. And if we don't do that, not just in our actions, but with our mouth, sometimes people need to hear. Okay? People need to hear and not just see. They need to see too, but they need to hear our testimonies. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. If we can tell somebody else, hey, God did it for me. I know he can do it for you. He did it for my brother. I know he can do it for you. He did it for grandma. He can do it for you. Whatever it is, be real. Tell your real testimony. Tell the details. I'm not saying go tell all your business just for the sake of telling, but when it comes to pulling somebody up out of the muck and the dirt, and they've been and they're in a situation that you've been in, tell them the details. Tell them how nasty and filthy you really were and how God cleaned you up. Tell them what you really did. Don't sugarcoat it. Oh, yeah, I used to drink. Now tell them that you got sloppy drunk and couldn't remember your name, where you live. People had to come pick you up and bring you home, put you in the bed. But look how God cleaned you up. Tell them that you was a whoremonger and that you was out sleeping with everybody and didn't even know people's names, where you met them, that you were just sleeping around just to be sleeping, but God cleaned you up and you celibate now. Tell them the truth. Tell them the real and the whole truth. That's what's going to help somebody get free. Not this old sugar-coated, oh yeah, I used to fornicate and I would drink, No, tell the truth. I lied. Everything that came out of my mouth was a lie. I was a habitual liar. I told so many lies I didn't know what the truth was. Tell the whole truth. Give them your real testimony. That's what people are looking for. The truth. People are not searching for all this extra and all these bells and whistles. People need the truth. They need support. They need encouragement. They need to be built up and not torn down and beat down. Not condemning people, but showing the love of Christ. Our actions speak louder than our words. We can tell somebody we're a Christian, we love Jesus all day long, but if we never show them the love of Christ, why should they believe us? Why? He said, this is how they will know that you are my disciples, by the love you have one for another. And if we can't show that love to anybody, not just the people that we pick and choose, but anybody, right, prove it. That's it, prove it. He did. Why can't we? Why can't we? Love is an action word. Action word. God so loved the world that he gave. Love always causes action. Action. When you love somebody, you sacrifice for them. When you love somebody, you will turn over that plate for them. You will get on your face. You will give your last. Love is an action word. It's not a static thing that doesn't move, that doesn't grow. It's an action word. Come on. We got to show it. Show it. We got to feed people naturally and spiritually. Clothe them naturally and spiritually. Cover people. If they in mess, don't talk about them. Cover them. Pray for them. Let them know I'm praying for you. This ain't God's best for you, but I'm going to cover you till you get it together. I'm not going to talk about you and put you down. I'm going to cover you. That's our job. It ain't to go point out their flaws, because we all got plenty of our own. We supposed to cover one another. And I'm not saying to let people just continue and mess with no accountability. If that's your friend, if that's your loved one, hold them accountable to who you know them to be. This is not who you are. Deal with their humanity, but encourage them to be the man or woman of God that you know them to be. Even in the midst of our in the midst of our humanity, because we all got things we're gonna be working on forever. But encourage them to keep pressing forward. That long suffering got to come in somewhere. Sometimes we gotta tarry with a person for a while. It don't happen overnight. But discipleship ain't overnight. Change ain't overnight all the time. Sometimes it's months and weeks and years. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. All right, I'm done. Look, I got to go because I done got excited and I'm about to get up and run around this house. You right, they don't. People want everything quick, fast, and in a hurry. This microwave generation. But I'm telling you, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Even if you don't see the fruits of your labor, sow seeds. Water seeds that other people have planted. Pour into other people. I'm telling you, it's so worth it. Sometimes you'll see the fruit, sometimes you won't. But trust and believe that you planted that seed, that fruit is going to spring up sooner or later. Whether you there or not. Whether you see it or not. That seed has been planted. Somebody's going to water it. And God is going to provide the increase. It's going to spring forth. It's going to grow. You might see that person years from now and they be a completely different person. You never know what impact the smallest thing you do has on a person. Not just what you say, and even indirect actions. I will never forget, I talked to one of my friends. We have been friends since kindergarten. And we had lost touch. We got back in touch. And he was talking to me one night and he was telling me, he said, when we were in school, he said, you always encouraged me and challenged me to do better and to get good grades and to study. And he said, because you were always winning awards and doing this and that. And he said, and I saw you do it and I knew I could do it. He said, it made me want to do better. I never knew that. We've been friends since kindergarten. He told me this probably a year ago. We 36. You never know what impact your actions, your influence, the way you live your life has on another person. You never know. Never know. I was just like, wow, I was blown away. He said, you kept me out of trouble so many times because I knew you would be upset if I got in trouble and if I got suspended and if I did different things at school. He said, you kept me out of trouble a whole lot of times. And I was just like, wow, somebody's always looking. Somebody's always watching. It may just be you going through your process with your head held high, not complaining, not murmuring, that encourages somebody else to go. If they can see you go, if they can see you move without murmuring, without complaining, without giving up, even when it's hard and tough, it encourages them to keep pressing in their journey. More than anything you could say, I'm telling you, sometimes just doing and being is the best encouragement. Show up for people. If they got events and you claim you support them and that's your friend, show up. If they singing, if they preaching, if they in a fashion show, whatever, show up. Let your physical presence be there. Let them know, hey, I'm here. I support what you're doing. If they sell a product, buy it. Don't ask for a discount, but buy it to show your support. If they're producing music or writing or whatever, support it. Encourage them to do it. If they're nervous about pursuing their dreams, tell them you can do it. Go for it. I got your back. Be there, show up, be present. It makes such a huge difference. Such a difference. But I'm done. I'm getting off of here because I'll be on here all day talking to y'all. So I hope you'll come back next week with me for Saturday Scopes. You're welcome. Thank you. So we can finish out this series of me, myself, and I. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about identity and identity theft, things that come to rob you of your identity, and how to combat those things. In the meantime, you can check out my blog. It's C. Jaquise at Blogspot. cjaquise.blogspot.com. It's CJAQIS. You can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I'm available. I'm around. Send me a message, an email. Talk to me. Hey, mama. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking back to me and tuning in for Saturday Scopes. Y'all be blessed. I'll see you next week. Hey, Nevaeh.